founder of Mutual Respect and the host of Unspoken Truth, Daniel. And tonight I have a different approach that I'd like to have my political opinion based on the recent spate of lenient sentences handed to violent immigrants in our country. I stand before you tonight as an alienated, highly concerned father, a falsely accused man, and a former proud Australian who is no longer willing to stay silent while our way of life is being completely torn apart. And it's not being done by war, it's not being done by famine, but by deliberate policy and political cowardice. On one hand, violent offenders, many of whom are repeat criminal immigrants, are being handed lenient sentences in our courts. Judges are told directly to go soft to avoid upsetting deportation risks or cultural sensitivities. Even when women are raped, elderly citizens are assaulted, or children are terrorised in their own neighbourhoods. Yet on the other hand, fathers, Aussie fathers, good, hard-working, loyal men, are being erased from their children's lives with no evidence, no investigation, and no presumption of innocence. Just an accusation and their lives are completely destroyed. It's obvious we are living in a two-tier legal system, one for the imported offenders and one for the native-born fathers. And if you dare to speak out about this, you're called racist, misogynistic, sexist, or even worse, a national threat. Let me be very clear. This is not about race. This is about law. This is about truth. And this is about national integrity. Do you understand what that word means, Anthony Albanese? It is a reported fact that the Victorian Magistrates Court was instructed in 2023 to hand down more lenient sentences to violent offenders of immigrant backgrounds. Not for justice, but to avoid triggering deportation or public outrage. That is not justice. That is a political and legal cowardice disguised as compassion and progress. While this was happening, thousands of fathers across Australia, just like myself, were being falsely accused and dragged through the courts based on nothing more than unsubstantiated claims, with zero evidence to support these claims. Many lose access to their children for years, some permanently, and others, well, they're not bloody here to talk about it anymore because they were coerced into taking their own life. We are a country that once stood for a fair go. We once stood for truth and for your mates and for national pride. Now we have been conditioned to stand divided. We have been conditioned to accept a political and legal appeasement. And now we stand for selling out our families to keep the bureaucracy happy as we don't want to rock the boat. This isn't justice. This isn't Australia. This is a systemic erasure of our nation, and it's a deliberate push. Let me ask you, how can we call ourselves a just society when convicted sex offenders get suspended sentences, but innocent fathers are denied bail based on text messages? How do we protect our children when the courts favour political optics over the truth? How do we preserve peace when legal double standards inflame resentment and fuel silence? The system has been weaponised. It is not broken. It has been weaponised. And that weapon is aimed directly at fathers, families, and the moral fabric of our nation. Well, I'm here to say no more. I'm here to say that Mutual Respect is rising up to challenge this global political agenda that is destroying our country. We are not afraid of the truth, and we're not afraid to stand alone if that's what it takes. Because if we stay silent now, our children will be the ones that pay the price. We demand equal justice under the law, regardless of race, gender, or political sensitivity. We demand the prosecution of false allegations with the same vigour and energy as violent crimes. And we demand the protection of our Australian values and way of life and reinstate mutual respect for families in Australia. Accountability and truth have never been so missed in a country that used to be swimming in it. And we demand that our leaders stop choosing political cowardice over public safety and start choosing justice over ideology. Wouldn't you agree, Albo? Here's a novel idea. Instead of acting like a global ventriloquist doll, maybe you could stand up for genuine Australians that are sleeping in their cars. To those who have felt this injustice, you're not alone. To those in power, we are impatiently watching your every move. And to every father silenced, erased, and vilified without any evidence, you are not disposable, you are not forgotten, you are the very foundation of this country, and I ask you to stand united and restore our nation's pride together. Together we will expose the truth, together we will rebuild integrity, and together we can reinstate mutual respect back to our broken nation for the benefit of our children's futures.